Hello everybody and welcome to my 6th crochet podcast. I'm here today and I have a lot to talk about. I have got it all queued up here beside me on the bench. The dog is out, so hopefully there'll not be any barking at the postie. Although I am expecting an Amazon delivery, so I might just wave if they go past there. But yeah, other than that, should all go smoothly. It is coming up for lunchtime on Friday the 4th of March. Can't believe we're into March already. The start of the year has just gone so fast, I think. And I'm glad it's March because, although it's grey today, the weather is definitely warming up and I can really see the lengthening in the days. It's lighter when I walk the dog at night. I normally go out shortly after tea, and although it isn't light, I can see a little bit of lightness on the horizon, so it's definitely lengthening, and the days, spreading out, which I like. So much easier to take photos. If any of you like to take photos of your makes, and you're in the northern hemisphere over the winter, it can be really hard. You realise it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and the daylight has just gone, so it's great. I can still take a photo about 3:30, maybe 3:45 if it's a brighter day, so that's good. So let's dive in. I haven't really thought about the order. I'm just going to pull things off as I find them. Let's go with these socks, which I've finished at last. These began in January and they were for Christine Perry, Winnick Mums, Winter Haven Cal, and I have just finished them. I put a marker in. I'm following Cozy Cottage Crochet Hannah's idea of putting in a wee stitch marker when you've finished recording a podcast, and then you can see your progress. So I've done that in the last 2 weeks. So I've got the pair. I haven't blocked them yet, but I just finished the Kitchener stitch across the toe on this one this morning. Let's put my hand in. I'm quite chuffed with this one. It's come out well. Look. It's a lovely finish, nice flat finish. And yeah, overall I am happy with these. The yarn was Rusty Ferret. It was a present my husband gave me for Christmas, and I love how the speckles have worked up. Really like it. It's just a vanilla sock. I was following Christine's basic sock pattern, which you can find for free on her blog, and that is a great pattern. If you haven't knitted socks before, it's a great pattern to dive into. I think that's the only knitted content I have for today's blog post, so the rest is crochet. I do like to do a little bit of knitting. Always have one project on the needles. At the moment I've just finished that, so I have nothing. I shall need to think about what to start. I'm not sure. Probably. Knowing me, more socks, although it might be wrist warmers. We'll see. Watch out in the next podcast. Okay, shall I continue with socks? I think I will. So I have this lovely sock yarn. It's arrived just the other day in the post from Fine Fettle Fibres. It is Garthanor Organic Snowdonia sock yarn. And it's soft yet woolly all at the same time. And it smells amazing. I wish you could smell it. It smells so good. It smells so sheepy. And this is a mix of organic Romney and Hebridean wool. So it's 90% Romney and 10% Hebridean. And I really like it. So I am crocheting some socks in this, and this is the design that's going to be in British Fibre Art magazine issue 24, which will be coming out in the spring. I can show you, this is the first time that I have crocheted a left and a right sock. So I've designed a pair of socks, and it's going to have a motif down the outer side of both socks. So each sock is slightly different, and I'm not going to show you that motif. I'm going to be sneaky and just quickly show you where I'm up to. I have actually designed the full sock. This is an extra pair that I'm doing. This is the back, and I've got to there. So I'm not going to show you what's around this side. I'll leave that as a complete surprise when the magazine comes out. I can't wait to see it. Really excited about that one. So British Fibre Art Magazine, that's the one that my Fields of Wheat beanie was in December. You might remember if you watched that podcast episode or you're following me on Instagram. I had the hat pattern in there, and this time round it's a sock pattern, and I'm really chuffed about that one. It's going to be my 6th sock pattern. I've already got ideas for the 7th. Haven't put anything on the hook yet, but I do have an idea for the 7th because I'm really enjoying crocheting socks, and you guys seem to like them too, which is most important. So yeah, that is that. I'm going to have a sip of tea. I've nicked one of my husband's tea bags. It is a Whittard tea. Oh, I thought I would have it on here. Can't remember. It's got a little purple. It's fruity. I think there's rosehip in it. Could be wrong. Peach and something. It's nice. Okay, well, let's go with the big beast, and I can see what is across on that bench. My Dutch Houses Throw. The pattern is by Esme Crick, and I've done the first row, orange. Second is this turquoisey, burgundy for the centre, and then back to the turquoise again, and I'm on the final orange. And this is the last row, and like the socks, I put in a marker where I was on the last blog post, which is down here, and now I'm up to here, which is almost a full repeat, so I'm chuffed with that progress. I've worked on it quite a bit. I tend to do a row in each colour, so that works out as 4 rows in mosaic crochet. It works out as 4, so I tend to do 4 rows at a time when I'm working on it, and that takes me maybe 30-35 minutes to do that, which works out quite well. I like that length of time to sit working on it. So yeah, I'm hoping to have this finished by the next podcast. I've got obviously this up to the roof to finish, and then there's a fairly narrow border, so that shouldn't take me too long, and that'll tidy up the ends really well, because you don't have to cut and tie in your ends all the time. They just get carried up the side. Do you want to see the back? Here's what the back looks like. It's interesting, isn't it? And it gives it such a good texture. I really like it. It's going to be squishy, it's going to be warm. Still haven't decided if I'm going to keep it for the family or if I'm going to gift it. Not sure. I've the feeling I like it too much and I'm going to keep it. We'll see. I know my youngest really likes it as well, so who knows. I'll decide by the next time I do a podcast, and I'll let you know what I'm going to do. Right, I'll pop that one down on the floor, and that leaves a few things. I do have quite a few things to talk about as well that aren't lifting up and showing, so maybe if I go on with one of them. Yes, so I watched Crochet Luna's podcast just at the start of the week there. That's Claudia. I'll put a link to that below. And she was talking about decluttering and decluttering her craft supplies, which I found fascinating. She was talking about Swedish death clear out. Yeah, I think so. And it was really interesting how she is going through her house and her craft supplies and just getting rid of the things that she's not likely to use, and that frees up space, and I think that's freeing up space in her mind as well. Just not having all these things, all this stuff around, is just helping her to focus. So I haven't done any decluttering myself yet, but I think I will, especially as I'm going to be moving into my eldest son's old bedroom soon, and I'm in the process of just tidying that up, and I need to give it a lick of paint, especially on the ceiling, and at the moment it has green walls, so I'm going to paint, if not all the walls, because I think it's quite a bright green and I think it might be a lot of work. It's also textured wallpaper that the green is on top of, so I'm going to try one wall, the north facing wall, and that should help bounce light into the room and give me a nice white background for filming, for bouncing the light to give the room more light, and for doing photos up against. I think that'll be good. So I think rather than just getting all my craft supplies and dumping them in that room, I think as I go through them and prepare to move them, I will have a good clear out and see what I'm really using, what I'm just hanging on to perhaps because it's been gifted to me and I feel I should keep it, what I've been keeping forever in a, yeah, I'll use this for an amazing project, and yet it's still sitting there. I've got a few things like that, I think, that are still sitting there years down the line. Will I use them? I'm not sure. So I think I'll reassess and I will, have a good look at those. So I encourage you to go and watch Claudia's podcast. It's got a lot more in depth about decluttering. I found it fascinating just to listen to her talk about her stash. So go and have a watch of that. And yeah, watch this space too, and we'll see what I am going to do with my stuff. I wouldn't say I had too big a yarn stash. When I pulled it all out though, I think it was for the, what was it? Yarn Friends Rock. It was last year's Yarn Friends Rock month, and I think one of the prompts was stash, and I pulled out every single ball or started ball of yarn, skein, everything, and I laid it all out on the floor, and it looked probably about twice as much as I thought that I had, because I have baskets here with this weight and here with that weight. I've got a bag here, bag there. I've got shelves in my bedroom at the moment, that's where I keep it, with full balls on. And so when it all came out, it was definitely more than I thought. Sorry, someone just tried to phone me there. I have turned off my Wi-Fi just so that I don't get notifications there. But a phone call just popped in. So that was that part I wanted to talk to you about. So let's hold up another project. This one is a new one since my last podcast. I started it just last weekend, and it's a scarf. I've got the end to sew in here, don't worry. And I've got another end somewhere else here. Here we go. And it starts with just plain double crochet stitches at the beginning. And it's funny because I put this on my story, and let's see if I can hold it like this. I put it on my stories, just the bottom there. Maybe I'd done to about what's on screen there, and I cropped it. So I cropped it just there and just there to make it look like it was a much bigger piece, to deliberately make it look like it was a jumper or a cardigan or something like that. And I put it on my stories with a guess what I'm making sticker. And immediately, like I thought, there were a load of jumper, cardigan, is it a sweater? And I responded with, I think I just pulled a few of those and I put, here's a clue, it's not a garment. And then I had a lot of guesses for things like bags, throws, cushion covers, pillows, that kind of thing. Nobody had guessed scarf, so later on that day I revealed that it was in fact a scarf, to which I got a multitude of messages saying, is a scarf not a garment? Which got me thinking. And I think as a crochet designer, I don't think of a scarf as a garment, because I think of garment design as really being jumpers, cardigans, possibly skirts, although that isn't something I would do, or haven't done yet. Skirts, more sort of something with more fitting. Probably wouldn't even think of socks as being a garment. But when I looked up the definition of the word garment, it is just an article of clothing. So I think it's open to interpretation if a scarf is a garment or not. It had good interaction on my Instagram stories, so that was interesting, got people talking. Yeah, curious to know what you think. Leave a comment if you like under this post. Is a scarf a garment? I don't think there's any right or wrong answer. And I suppose it probably depends on the context. So I think for me as a crochet designer, I definitely think a scarf is not a garment, but I'll allow you to disagree on that one. So anyway, I've worked this one pretty quickly. It's going to be 3 balls of yarn, and I'm using, here we are, Debbie Bliss Donegal Luxury Tweed Aran. So it's a thicker yarn, and I'm also using a much bigger hook than you usually would for this yarn to give the scarf this lovely openness. The texture is created with raised double trebles, which are, some are worked behind and some are worked in front to give you this zigzag, and then running through, let me see through this paler bit, you've got just a treble to just bring it back down. Can you see the texture there? Yeah, I think it's showing up quite well. So it'll be about 3 balls, 3 50-gram balls of Debbie Bliss Tweed Aran, the Donegal Luxury one. It feels lovely and squishy. But yeah, I've got the holes in it to give it the airiness. It'll wrap. Let's put it on actually. It'll wrap nicely. It's going to be a good length. I've still got about half a ball to go, and I think I'll just keep going right to the end, and I'll finish it with a repeat the same as this one. So I'll finish it the same way I started, with just plain rows of DC stitches. All those terms I've been using are UK terms. So I guess the raised trebles and things are trebles in US terms, not double trebles. So there we are, if you're interested in that one. I've written the pattern up, did that yesterday afternoon, which I was chuffed with. Wrote up quite quickly. I'm going to wrap it around twice just to see. Ooh, look. So yeah, it's going to have that extra bit of length. I need to be a wee bit longer. And that'll be that. This one here will be the longer one, yeah. A bit more to go, and the pattern is written up, and I'll be sending it out to testers shortly, probably next week. So if you're one of my testers, look out for an email from me on that one. And if you don't get it, send me a message and let me know you're interested. Just in case it's maybe gone to your spam or has zapped somewhere. I've been sending a few emails lately and I don't know where they've gone. Strange messaging system, isn't it? Maybe I've just got the odd. I know I have sent a few to hotmail.com instead of hotmail.co.uk messages I've been sending lately. I just done that by mistake. So that is the scarf. I'll ask my eldest son if he'll do a photo shoot for me with that one, and then that'll be probably the last step before publishing next month, I would hope. It's a quick make. I started it last Saturday afternoon and I haven't even worked solidly on it. And I also made a mistake and had to frog about half a ball of yarn, about an hour's work. I had to frog. I'd done one of the ones that should be that way, I'd done it that way. And I hadn't noticed, and I just carried on. And funnily enough, the whole way up, if I pull it up, so the whole way up, for quite a long while, one of these ones was going that way, all the way. So I think it was an end one. The whole way up. I'd done it in the evening. I was probably tired, and I'd done it in the evening. And I just, I hadn't noticed it. And it wasn't until I started the next day that I couldn't work out what was going wrong. And I pulled it back and did that row again, and pulling back, and it wasn't until no, look what I've done. These things happen, especially when you're working late on into the evening. And I was tired. So yeah, good job, crochet frogs, quickly, just and off you go. No need to worry about live stitches like in knitting. I do like that about crochet. So let's talk about another whip before I move on to some yarn that I bought. I haven't got any further. I'm just going to show you this quickly on my crochet project MCAL, because I have just run out of yarn. I see now how the end's going to work, and I just don't have, because this has been an absolute stash buster, I just don't have enough to do the corners. So I've ordered some yarn to finish that off. So this pointy bit finishes by being squared off. The clue has been live now for a week, so I don't mind giving you that spoiler. So no progress on this one, but once I get the yarn, I will quickly finish that one off, because I've really enjoyed that one. I don't know about any of you guys, if you've been working on it, what you've thought. I think it's one of the best patterns, best MCAL patterns that the Crochet Project has done. I really like it. So thank you, Joanne, for putting that one together. I think it's kept a lot of people guessing, actually, where it's going to go next, which is one of the things I liked about it. I had no idea. Well, I did have some ideas, and then the pattern, next clue would come out, and it was just not what I was expecting at all. So it's really kept us all on our toes. I like it. I'm really thirsty today. So one of the final things I want to tell you about, I have ordered from Hobby Yarns for the first time. Upside down. I have ordered one skein of sock yarn, and this is a solid one. It feels lovely and soft. If I was to compare it with this one, they're just so different. They're chalk and cheese. This one's definitely got this one has definitely got more of a commercial yarn quality about it. It's smooth, it's polished, it's finished, whereas this one has, upside down as well, a real wooliness to it. So I like them both for different reasons. I like the raw quality of this one, and I like the solid mustardy colour on this one. So this one is 75% virgin wool and 25% polyamide, and it is called Unicorn. Is the not the colourway, but the brand is the wrong word. I can't think what the word is. Type. Yeah. And have I got colour 20? I can't remember if there was a colour when I ordered it, but colour 20 is what this one is, and it's probably going to be socks. It might be my next sock design. I have a bit of an idea what I'm going to do with that. I haven't really thought about yarn, so sock 7 possibly. Watch this space and we'll see. So it comes from Denmark, and it came maybe in about 7 or 8 days, which I thought was pretty good. And there were so many notifications telling me about the tracking, which was also really good and reassuring, to know that it was on its way to me and that it wouldn't be long. So that wasn't the only thing I ordered. I also ordered 5 balls. Let's get them together and I'll hold them up nicely. 5 balls of cotton. So cotton yarn, that top one is coming out a bit limey, but it's pale lemon, I would say. I wonder if I get it over at the light. Yeah, that's better. Over at the natural light coming in the window there, you can see. So we've got a burgundy, a sort of foresty, Christmassy green, orange, my favourite colour, a nice yellowy, possibly my second favourite colour, and I've gone for a very pale yellow for a bit of contrast. And I have got a specific project in mind for this one. I'll tell you about the yarn first. So this one is one of their rainbow cottons, and they're calling it 8-4, and it's a 4-ply cotton, 100% cotton, 4-ply, and it feels lovely and smooth. It's not a mercerized one, but I really, really like the feel of it, and what a range of colours you can choose from. I was blown away by the colour range in this yarn. It's available in double knitting, 8-ply as well. I'm not sure if it goes chunkier than that, I cannot remember. But I wanted something finer, and my plan, if I pull this over, my plan is to do something in the middle of my denim jacket. Now, this is the denim jacket I wear all the time. It's in quite a lot of my photo shoots. I'll show you the front. I've got a pin on it that says, "Hello, I'm a crocheter." And I got a load of pins over the other side. I just like to keep one on that side, but I've got a lot of pins on this side. I got my wee Frida Kahlo here. This one, the light will be shining off it, but this one just says crocheter. Got a tiny one with a wee crochet hook. I love this one. It's on a piece of wood. Kite, love heart. That's from Whimsical Lush, who is a local illustrator. And I have this love heart here, which I love, and it's from Love Kelly Riley, who is fairly local to me as well. I just bought that one a few weeks ago, and it's my big statement one for the moment. I tend to change around my big one in the middle. I change that around quite frequently. I love this one. It's made of lots of scraps of material which have been sewn together flat, and then they have been kind of formed around a heart shape. So I really like that one. I'll try and put the link to Kelly's shop in the comments. And the other thing I have on this one is my patch. If you've been following me for probably since last May, June, that's when I designed this patch. And it is a sunshine, and it was this one was a free pattern. It was an exclusive, so at the moment it's not available. I will be releasing it in April. I'll be releasing it under the sort of sunshine and showers theme for April, because we often think of April as being sunshine and showers. Ooh, I might release a couple of raindrop patterns. That might be quite nice to go with it. Yeah. So this one was a competition. I released it and I sent it. It was only available to mailing list subscribers, and I sent it as a competition, and the competition was to just take this basic design and add a twist to it. So I had some people turn it into a hedgehog, other flowers, so there were some sunflowers just by changing the colours. I think one had beads and things on it, the winning one. It was a while back. I'm not remembering too clearly, but there were so many lovely options just by taking my pattern and adding a twist on it. And that's when I started to add that to all my designs. Have now got at the very end of the pattern, there's a take it further section, and there's 4 or 5 bullet points with just little ideas that you might want to use to tweak my pattern and give it your own edge, and just change it. And that way you could be walking about and I've just thought of something, and you're never ever going to bump into someone with the same sunshine patch, for example. Buttons for eyes would be an obvious one that's just popped in my mind. But I was walking along my local high street one day this week, and there was an elderly lady coming towards me with a walking stick, and I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, she's got the same hat on as me. And we both had on our Katie's Kips, the Shetland Wool Week hat pattern from 2020, I think. Wilma Malcolmson designed that one, and we both had it in our hats on, and I'd ordered the kit for that one. And as the lady approached, I said to her, "We're wearing the same hat," and she stops and she looks at me. She's like, "So we are." Her daughter had made her one for her, so we had a wee chat for a moment. Her daughter had made her one. Obviously I'd made my own one. Looking forward to this year's design coming out fairly soon, I would imagine. A brand new design for Shetland Wool Week, and it's normally a Fair Isle pattern, so I'm looking forward to that. But I think because me and her daughter had both ordered the kit, the hats were the same. Quite funny. I wonder if she went home and said to her daughter, "I saw somebody else and they had on the same hat." So this jacket, going back to the jacket, can you see it's a Liberty lined Levi's vintage denim jacket. It's got Liberty under the collar. I've added some extra Liberty. I added in this bit here to the pocket. I really carefully, I keep meaning to do a tutorial because I'd like to do the second pocket actually. So if I do the second pocket, probably in a different Liberty, so that I can't remember what this one's called. I am not that clued up on my Liberty names. But I used a piece of paper, obviously I unbuttoned it, and I used a piece of paper and I just pushed my finger on the paper and creased in here to get the exact shape of this. And then I used that as a template, obviously allowed a bit of seam allowance, and then hand stitched that on, which I really like. I would like to do the other pocket. But unfortunately, as you can see here, because it's vintage, the lining is falling out. So I'm going to have to rip it all out. I plan to reline it in Liberty. I'm going to reline it, and while I have the back off, I would like to crochet some. I can't decide whether to do a sort of mandala or whether to do flowers or some freeform crochet. I want it to pretty much fill this back panel in those 5 colours that I showed you. So I'm going to have a wee think. I'm not going to start it until I finish the Dutch houses. That's my my push. Sorry, word didn't come to me. To finish that one, I'm not going to start until I do this. That's something else that Claudia at Crochet Luna was talking about, was the number of whips that she likes to have on the go, which she finds about 3, maybe 4 is right for her. And I used to have 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 even on the go at a time, but I've found that sticking to just 3, probably 3 crochet projects and 1 knitting project is about right for me. And I like them for different reasons. I'll have something like the Dutch houses that I know what I'm doing with it, and I can work on it later in the evening and it'll all go well. I like to have something normally that I'm designing that needs a bit more focus, and something in the middle, probably a blanket would be my other, maybe one that I would have another blanket, maybe like a granny square type, and knitting a pair of socks or wrist warmers, or I might wait for my knitting project to be the next Shetland Wool Week one. So that, for me, having just a smaller number of whips means that I'm more likely to focus on them and finish them and reward myself by starting the next one. That works for me. As Claudia was saying, you know, different people, different ways, so everyone's different, and I respect that. Now, I'm just going to glance at my notes and check that I've spoken about everything. Oh, I have one more thing. It's a big one. It's on the floor, which is why I hadn't seen it. You might remember, if you've been following me on Instagram, I was working on this cushion back at sort of the last part of last year. It's a big squishy cushion. I've done the photo shoot for this one and I'm holding it like this, which I quite like. So this pattern is written up, it's tested, photos are taken, and I'm happy with it. And it's going to be an exclusive part of a new crochet bundle, which I've hinted at over on Instagram. I'm not going to hint too much more about it, because I did say for sure that my email list subscribers are going to get the first info and be the first ones able to purchase this. So I shall reveal more to my subscribers. So if you aren't subscribed to me, I shall put the link, I'll probably make that the top one in the comments. Go subscribe to my mailing list, you get a free cowl pattern straight away, and there will be other free patterns. The idea that came to me when I was talking there about doing the raindrop to go with the sunshine, that'll probably be an exclusive one to my subscribers. And the other good reason for joining is that I give the biggest discounts. I do a monthly pattern of the month, and the biggest discount always goes to subscribers. So hop onto that if you would like any of that stuff. Good stuff. So I am going to finish off here. Thank you for watching. Give me a subscribe, a like, a comment, share. All these things are fab. My platform, I'm really growing on the platform at the moment with lots of new subscribers, so that's good to see. I've got lots of ideas for future videos and more podcasts. I've really got into the habit of it now, every couple of weeks. That seems to be a good rhythm for me. I hope there's enough variety that I can talk about in the couple of weeks. So any comments, encouragement, anything, pop them in the comments. I do love to read your comments. Alright everyone, so goodbye. Hope you all have a lovely crafty weekend and a crafty couple of weeks ahead. Goodbye.